So, hi, I'm Sue from Movement for Life. A large proportion of our time, and even when we are doing sports, unless it's a ball sport, especially if we are cycling, swimming, running, walking, all seems to be in one direction. Very rarely do we actually move in a three-dimensional plane, and our spine was designed to move in a three-dimensional plane. And very often, lower back pain, and I get clients continuously saying, oh, all I did was bend over to put on the bath. I just bent over to pick up my shoes. I just bent over to put my child to bed. But the movements don't happen going forwards. They go happening forwards with a slight rotation. So I really think that doing some hip mobilization and movement in the spine, in the lower and in the upper, is really important to keep that three-dimensional plane moving. So here we go. Our first exercise is hip rolls. Lying down with your feet together, knees together. Everything needs to be glued together. You want to feel like you, from your big toe to your abdominals, is literally glued together in a plaster cast. We want the arms to be active, involved with your exercise. So from there, you're going to peel the top foot off and you lower both legs down in one direction. And slowly return using your abdominals to bring the legs back through to center. We breathe in to set up. We breathe out as you start to roll the hips down in one direction, and the knees will drop and follow. You need to pause, catching your breath. You breathe out to return yourself back through to neutral. So, my tips of the day is if you take your hands on your hip bones and you find the bottom of the ribs, in your mind you want to visualize that that gap between the two marks is about 5 centimeters. So as you peel that foot off, what you don't want is for your hips to start to hitch, i.e. you want to still visualize that that 5 centimeter rule remains. What you don't want to feel is that top rib and the hip expanding and becoming longer, like 6 centimeters. Slowly draw everything you've got back towards the center, and you reverse into the other direction. So as you lower the legs in one direction, you want to maintain that 5 centimeter difference. What I don't want to see is the ribs start to expand, and you can feel how that 5 centimeters becomes 8 centimeters. Likewise, if you whip the legs and you then shorten, that 5 centimeters will then feel like 3. So the range at which you go down is totally dependent on your abdominal strength. So what I always say is less is more. So the less you go, the more you'll actually get out of the exercise, because then the abdominals have to control the movement all the time. With the arms, as you lower the arms, you want to create length and opposition by the hands reaching for opposite ends of the room. The hands are on the ground. You want to almost feel like your triceps are involved in the exercise as you start to curl up and bring the legs back to the other side. So if they just hang, it's very easy for the ribs to pop out, and you're trying to keep them nice and soft and connected through your back and through your triceps. So from there we can decrease the stability and add the hands up towards the ceiling. The shoulders shouldn't be reaching up and creating any tension in the neck. They should be relaxed in their sockets. As you slightly lower the legs, if you don't have good core strength, your legs may continue to drift down and you'll collapse in one direction. So you really need to keep your abdominals engaged throughout the exercise. What I'm also trying to visualize and observe is that the arms aren't moving and flapping about, that they're keeping nice and stable in each direction. So as I lower the legs, I breathe out. I pause and catch my breath, and I draw my abdominals back towards my spine. Good. From there, we can add to the stretch and make it a little bit more challenging, because now we're going to work through the legs. Nothing changes, except now with 2 legs crossed over, it's quite a lot heavier. So now you have to do even less range, but more abdominals to keep that strength in the lower abdominals, in order for you not to collapse and keep moving in the same direction. Do one more each side. Lower the legs, breathing out. You pause, breathing in. You breathe out and slowly, using your abdominals, return back to center. Lower the legs. And breathe out to return. You're going to cross the legs over and you repeat it all again on the other side. You may obviously find one side is a lot harder and has less of a range. You may even find it tighter in the back and in the hip. That's absolutely fine. Just go within your comfort zone. And do one more each side. The final one to challenge you is to take your hands on the ground into your double knee fold. From there, you roll both legs down in one direction. Pause, breathing in. You breathe out as you float both legs back towards the center. Now the challenge here is not to let the knees come towards the chest or start to let the knees drop away. You have to keep the angle exactly the same. Once again, it's not how far down you go, it's about being connected in those abdominals as you do your hip rolls from side to side. One leg down, other leg down, and have a rest. So, give those a go. I love doing them. My back always feels fabulous after doing some rotation. So, let me know how they feel.